Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a reading vlog, but before hopping too far into it, if you're new here, hello, my name is Emily. This is MacInnis Mama, where you'll find mostly bookish content, but the occasional lifestyle, gardening, motherhood style video thrown in. I would love it if you would subscribe before you leave. So I filmed my October wrap up just a couple of days ago, and it was blatantly obvious that I did not read enough spooky books in the spooky month. So I'm extending spooky season into November. I did read a lot of fantasy romance. I read some paranormal romances, which was fun, but I didn't read anything, I don't know, too gothic, nothing really scary. And I still had some books I really wanted to get to. So there are 5 books that Emily in La La Land would like to get to. So I'm just going to chat over what those books are. I haven't actually started any of them at this point that I'm filming this intro clip. But I have 3 books out from the library that should go back. I did get them out with the intention of reading them in October, as well as 2 books on Kindle Unlimited that I really do want to get to. First, I have A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. This is the new released version. I don't know if they made any changes when this got picked up by a traditional publisher, I believe. It has a new cover, and this is kind of like a new release now. I should also mention all of these are short books, so that's why I think I can read 5. They're all like 300 pages or less. This is following Constanta, the first bride of Dracula, and she talks about her marriage to Dracula and how, like, when he brings more wives into the mix, and apparently this is incredible. So I'm very excited. This was the perfect spooky type of book, but this is a common theme through this video. I next have Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Morena Garcia. These are very reflective library copies. This is a very gothic, fall, spooky vibe kind of book. She receives a letter from her cousin, and there's something very strange going on at like her new husband's house or something. And I have no idea what that means. Like, is the house haunted? Or is her new husband crazy? I literally have no idea. So I don't typically like to know a lot about my books before going into them. And then I have Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw. I really like Shay Earnshaw as a writer, and the kids and I watched The Nightmare Before Christmas before Halloween. My voice is starting to get out, and that movie is so much fun. So here we have Sally on the cover, and it says the nightmare didn't end after Christmas. So I'm assuming this is what happens after. This book is YA, so I think it'll be a super fast read on top of it being like 300 pages. And yeah, I have no idea. It says Jack and Sally are truly meant to be ... or are they? And then the 2 books that I hope to read on Kindle Unlimited. Again, I really do hope I can read all 5 of these. I'm trying really, really hard to reach a 100 books read by the end of the year. My goal was 50, and so far I've read 76. So I have less than 2 months left to read 24 more books, so a lot of these are going to be shorter. So first up, I have The Blood is Love by Karina Halley. This is actually on my November TBR. It's the only book in this vlog that's on my November TBR, so I'm in trouble when it comes to filming my December TBR, but whatever. And that is the second book in the Dark Eyes duet, which is a paranormal vampire series, like romance series. And I did not love Black Sunshine, the first book. So why am I continuing the series? Because it was a fast, fun read, even though I did have issues with it. And I honestly am not quite sure entirely where the second book in the duology is going. It's much shorter than the first book as well. It's just over 300 pages, I believe. So I hope to get to that because that's actually, I'm supposed to read that this month, and I think that lends itself perfectly to extending spooky season. And then I was looking at what I had out from Kindle Unlimited, and I have some very strange, shorter romance, like novella length books that I saw in, it was like a specifically like out of the box romance novella, something like that, a video on YouTube. So I downloaded a couple. But this is Sing Me to Sleep by R.M. Virtues. And it says, Penelope has lost so much in 6 months. One of the side effects of something, I'm not reading the whole synopsis because this book is it's like 150 pages, is sleep paralysis, and that's when the demon comes to get her. I think this is gonna scare the pants off of me, honestly. I am not like a horror type reader. I don't think I've ever read an actual horror book, and a demon coming for you while you have sleep paralysis sounds absolutely terrifying. And then someone put this in like a paranormal romance. Very unsure about that. And I do know that Mexican Gothic, I believe, has some horror elements to it as well, just a little bit. It's not like true horror, but it's definitely Gothic and scary. So I am a big baby. We'll see if I can read all of these and how scared I'm going to be, but I am happy to be squeezing in some more spooky books before the end of the year. There are many more that I would have loved to get to in October, but I read a lot of I read 7 books. Many of them were really ginormous books in October, so I'm giving myself some slack, but I do wish I read at least these ones that I've had out from the library. I do wish I read them in October. I'm rambling. I am going to start off with A Dowry of Blood because I think this is one of my most highly anticipated from this list, and I want to make sure that I get to this. So I will start with this. I will check in on each of the books between 100 pages and halfway, depending on the book and my feelings, my thoughts, and let's see how many of these books that I can read. There's a domino in the wild. That's really annoying. Ew, is that a snake skin? Oh my god, I'm gonna lose it.
What?
Does that mean it's up in the outside part of our house? Oh, that's creepy as hell. Dono has been an indoor cat, which wasn't my intention, but as soon as he escapes outside, he has been running to the road, even though we have a couple acres for him to play on. But he got out today and he didn't run, so I'm trying to just let him explore. What do you think, Wyatt? Is he being good today?
Yeah.
Because it'd be nice if he could play outside sometimes.
Yeah.
But I don't want him to get hit by a car, so we're staying really close.
Go.
Baby, go, go, go. Are you going fast? Hello everyone. I'm half done my makeup. I'm having fun doing something a bit different, but Emmett needs to have a nap, so I need to take a break with my makeup playtime anyways, and I am halfway through A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson, so I wanted to check in with you. So in this book, we are following Dracula's brides. Dracula is an assumption because he is never named, and we are in Constanta's point of view, his first wife, And in the very beginning, you know that she has killed him. And it is written in a series of like letters to him, recounting their life together, like what he did wrong and things like that. I also appreciate that at the very beginning of this book, there is a list of trigger warnings. So I very much appreciate that. You don't have to go on this deep dive hunt for that if you are sensitive to certain things in your books. Like these are the letters. So it is going by super fast. Some letters are like half a page like this. Others are many, many, many pages long, but it is flying by so quickly. And this truly depicts the roller coaster of being in an abusive marriage with someone who is essentially like a narcissist, is what I would call Dracula. Like, he makes all these arbitrary rules that are for their own good and because he loves them so much, blah blah blah. There is really good like polyrep in this, I guess. So like as their family grows, like there are significant relationships and love between multiple people in multiple directions, if that makes sense. The writing in here is so beautiful, very lyrical, and while this is a vampire story at heart, it's feeling very personal because we are reading it through these letters from Constanta. And I don't know, it has less of a fantasy feeling than I thought it might have, or less of a paranormal type feeling than I thought it might have. It truly is a deep dive into their marriage, but they are vampires. So like there is still some element of the paranormal in it in that way. But overall, I'm really enjoying it. I'm on page 145, so like I said, halfway through, and I hope to finish this later today because it is just flying by so quickly. Okay, I'm ready. Go, go, go.
Yeah, Mom.
I'm coming. Good job.
Yeah, Mom.
I'm coming.
Oh, Dad.
This kid absolutely loves riding his bike. It's even raining right now, and he wants to be out here on the balance bike.
Yeah, Mom.
Go, go, go. Up the hill. You made it.
I just it. Mom.
You're a tough cookie?
No. Yeah, just it.
Mommy's a tough cookie?
Mom, what's this? What else?
Hello everyone. Please, please, please excuse the mess behind me as well as the lighting. It is not even 5 o'clock and it is dark and gloomy outside. The time changed, but also is kind of a rainy day, so we're struggling. My eyes are stained pink from yesterday, which is fun. But I did want to check in because I finished A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I gave this 4 stars. It was really great, but a 5-star for me is like a new favorite, and I don't feel like this is quite it. This is like beautiful literary fiction meets vampires with some spice in here as well. The writing in here is so beautiful. My feelings basically remained the same as they were in my check-in. This was a very fast read, less than 300 pages, but some of the pages look like this. So like I said, I just flew through this, had a great time. And next I think I'm going to pick up The Blood is Love by Karina Howley, the second book in the Dark Eyes duet, just to switch things up and pick up a Kindle book. And also that one's actually on my November TBR. I have yet to read a book that's officially on my November TBR this month. And considering I started a new TBR game that includes punishments if I don't finish it, I'm a little concerned, but that's okay. We did just get back from the store. I picked up a Set for Life lotto ticket, hoping to get lucky, but I also checked the mail, and I wanted to share this with you guys. I made an order from Lila June Co. on Etsy. This, like, getting the thick paper envelope is so nostalgic to when I used to get planner stickers from Etsy. I loved doing that. I got 3 of her romance tarot volumes. She just released a 4th one, which I'm kicking myself. I wish I would have waited because the shipping was a bit much. However, she has like influencers with affiliate codes that give you 15% off, which worked out to be almost the shipping. So I went with it. But I have volumes 1, 2, and 3, and if she releases a couple more volumes, then I'll pick those up all at the same time as well. I will link these down below, and I think the Bookish Mama, Allison, has a code. It's probably Allison15. I will find that out and link it down below as well. That's not my affiliate code, but that's who I saw these cards from. I don't know which is which right now, but I love that these are all the same size. These are big tarot cards. They are stunning. I'm going to put in a prettier clip as well, but just to show you a few right now, we have Age Gap, Taboo Romance, Who Hurt You, Paranormal Romance, Motorcycle Romance, Fantasy Romance. And my thought with these is I would like to accumulate these into one big deck, shuffle them around, and include these in my TBR game or for reading vlogs, and just like shuffle them, draw one, then be like, oh, we're going to do a fantasy romance reading vlog this week, that sort of thing. I just thought it would be so fun. I've also seen people use these as bookmarks, and they just pick out, you know, the trope that goes along with the book that they're reading. These are really thick cards, tarot cards. They feel really good quality. All the art, I believe, is hand drawn by the owner of the Etsy shop, and they're absolutely stunning. But yes, I will show a better clip of these, and I will check in with you guys when I'm about halfway through The Blood is Love. Hello, checking in. Excuse my appearance. I'm in my very cozy sweater again because it is freezing cold outside. I just did my eyeshadow and my eyebrows, and I have dry shampoo in my hair, and it's falling out of my claw clip. But I have just a few moments to give you an update. I am DNFing The Blood is Love by Karina Halley. This is the second book in the Dark Eyes duet. I wanted to finish this and cross the series off the series I'm in the middle of. I got 23% in, which I was pushing myself to get to 25%. And I was just like, why am I doing this? I just watched Hannah's Recent Reads October wrap-up where she DNF'd a ton of things, and it just motivated me to do it. The whole time I was reading this, I was like, this is so stupid. These people are so annoying. That doesn't make sense. And then there was like some sexy scenes that just made me feel very ick. And I already felt a little ick about their relationship from the first book. If you watched my October wrap-up, I went into that. And I was just like, why am I torturing myself to finish off a duet when I literally don't care? Hannah told me DNFing is self-care. So this was very disappointing, but I'm going to let it go and move on because there are 5 books I wanted to read in this vlog, and I'm not the fastest reader. So I'm going to cut my losses on that one and try and pick something that I think I'm going to enjoy a lot, which is Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw. This is YA. I don't know why I am in such a mood for YA right now, but this is the only YA book I had planned for this vlog, and I'm just really craving this. I just recently rewatched The Nightmare Before Christmas with my kids. This is what happens after that. We're obviously following Sally here, and I'm just very, very excited about this. Again, we're extending spooky season. This is after Christmas, technically, on like the timeline of the year, but I mean, Halloween Town is spooky, right? And I think this is going to be a super fast, quick read. Wow, look how huge the writing and the spacing is. And even so, it is around 300 pages. So I think this is going to be very fast, and I think I'm really going to enjoy my time with this. No, I don't think it's going to be scary, but this is still like spooky season vibes, in my opinion. I now need to go to the bus stop to get Wyatt, and hopefully Emmett will have a nap. We have a lot of stuff to do today, so I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done, but I will definitely check in with you around the halfway point.
I have an idea.
Let him do it, Max. You have your own. What if you kick it, Bubba?
Try kicking. Try kicking.
You want to hit it with the hammer some more?
Oh, yeah. Wyatt,
Whew.
stop messing with him. Hey, now. No.
All right, Wyatt's turn.
Smash inside. That's what works good. Okay, I'm at over here.
Harder than that. I am now halfway through Long Live the Pumpkin Queen. The children are fighting because the second I hit record, of course, that's what happens. I keep underestimating filming check-ins when it gets dark so early. So I'm sitting in like a dark corner of my bedroom with my overhead light on and my phone plugged in. So excuse the weird setting, but I'm now halfway through and I have thoughts. I am not enjoying this, and I refuse to DNF 2 books in a row, especially when, you know, filming a reading vlog, because I just feel like that's not fun. I have some thoughts though. This is marketed and marked at the library as YA. this is not a YA story. At first I said, oh, YA, that'll be so nice. And look, the font is so big. The font is massive. This is a middle grade. And I feel like that is not what they were saying about this book. And that has hindered my enjoyment just because it wasn't what I was expecting, wasn't what I signed up for. Because it also says the nightmare didn't end after Christmas. And this being YA, I was like, ooh, something like super fun and exciting plot-wise is going to happen. And I just don't love the plot and like what is going on. And Sally, oh yeah, I do want to say that I really love the Nightmare Before Christmas movie. I rewatch it every single year. Am I a die-hard mega fan, have tattoos, merch? No. This has a very meandering plot and like not an exciting one. And it is kind of cool to see what is behind the other doors, like at the other holidays, not just, you know, Halloween Town and like the Christmas Town that we saw in the movie. But they're not that unique. Like if you just picture what you think a Valentine's Day themed town would be, that's what it is. Like an Easter themed town, that's what it is. You know what I mean? So I feel like this isn't bringing anything new. And Sally, the very first like 2 chapters, so this isn't really a spoiler, like her and Jack get married, which make her the pumpkin queen. And obviously, if they're getting married, you would assume that they are adults. And she is a rag doll who is very, you know, secluded, etc. But they get married and then they're like, oh, hail the pumpkin queen. She was like, queen. And then every time anybody mentions that she's a queen, she has like a mental breakdown about it because she didn't want to be a queen. She didn't know she was going to be a queen. She just wanted to marry Jack. And she loves Jack, and that's all she wanted. She just thought her and Jack would just have a very quiet married life, which is just like beyond naive for me. I always struggle with naive characters because I can only allow a certain amount of naivete. I don't even know how to pronounce that word until I'm just like, you fully lack common sense. Is that harsh? Yeah, I know. I'm just really struggling. I might change my mind by the end, but I had a peek on Goodreads, as I tend to do when I'm like wishy-washy with my feelings or not enjoying something. And there are reviews all and ratings all over the board. There are 1 stars, there are 5 stars. Hannah, who I mention all the time on my channel, I just love her channel so much, gave it 3.5. I don't know. I hope to finish that tonight because I just honestly want to be done with it. And then, trying to reach awkwardly onto this table, I do want to read Sing Me to Sleep. Now, this is the week that I am husbandless. He is on his annual manly vacation with his father and his uncle. They do it every single year. And so I'm alone. This isn't being uploaded for well after he's back, so I don't have any safety concerns in saying that on the internet. This is short. It's like 150 pages, but I think I'm going to be terrified. But I'm extending spooky season. Isn't that the whole point of this vlog? And I would like to start this tonight as well, which might be a terrible idea. After I start it, I will pop in with a better idea of what this is about, but I do know that our main character has been put on some sort of medication that causes, one of the side effects is sleep paralysis. And then this is a paranormal, erotic, romance, whatever you want to call it. And a demon is involved somehow. There's lots of trigger warnings for this. I finally finished Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw, and my thoughts really didn't change much by the end. I ended up giving this 2 stars, which I'm quite disappointed in. It's just not what I expected, not what the marketing was, in my opinion. It's very much a middle grade, very monotonous. Sally's naivete, still don't know how to pronounce that. And even in the writing itself, it was very repetitive, like her dry leaves rustled in her chest so many times, like that's her stuffing as a rag doll. And I just didn't enjoy my time reading it. And it was for like 65% or more, it was like that. And then the ending was nice, but even like my library has this shelved as YA. It's just, I didn't know that that is what this book was. And had I have known, A, I probably wouldn't have picked it up, or B, at least that would have been my expectations going in. And I think that that needs to play a factor in my rating. So this was a disappointment. I have since started Sing Me to Sleep by R.M. Virtues. There is great POC rep in here. We have a POC author, and then the characters are of color as well. So our main character went through a very, very traumatic situation. There was like a home invasion in which it was just her and her father home, and her father was attacked and unfortunately died. And she has major PTSD from this and cannot sleep, has full-on night terrors every single night. Now, she has discovered a medication that will put her to sleep, but when she wakes up, she has sleep paralysis. So that is scary in and of itself. She gets a full night's sleep finally, which she hasn't for so long. But then when she wakes up, she is kind of like, it's described as like being nailed to her bed. And while she's nailed to her bed, this demon is able to visit her, and he's not allowed to touch her unless she gives consent. And that could be just like in her mind, like he can read intentions or read her mind or something. And I was expecting this to be scarier than it is. It is a novella, and I knew it was like an erotic novella going into it, but with it being the sleep paralysis and a demon, I thought it would be more scary. And there is trigger warnings in here for consent, non-consent, but I just feel like that wasn't really done well, because we're getting her inner monologue as well as like the demon can read her thoughts. So when he asks the question and she shakes her head no, which I also don't get, like at first it's described as she has sleep paralysis. All she can move is her eyes. She can't really look around the room, but then she can shake her head no when he asks for permission. But you can tell in her head she's saying yes, 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 and he says, I know you consent. So it's like a silly little game, but with no real edge to it. So it is consent, non-consent, but without the darkness that I thought I was going to get out of this book. Am I making any sense? It's a fun time. This is not safe for work at all. I was reading it through the middle of the day on Friday, I think, and then the kids came home from school, and then I was just like I felt so uncomfortable reading this around my children, which they weren't reading over my shoulder or anything. It was just a little strange. So I'm about halfway through this now. I flew through that so fast yesterday, reading it before I went to sleep. It's feeling like a 3-star. I will be curious as to, I saw some good reviews on like PTSD representation and like working through trauma, and I want to see if, I know this is just a short novella, so maybe I'm asking too much of it and that's not what this is for at all, but I'm wanting to see the trauma explored more and not just be solved by finally getting rest, which is valid but hasn't worked through the core of the problems. That was just exasperating her, like, anxiety and just general not well-being. And I don't want nightly sex with the demon, or I guess like every morning, to just solve all her problems. Also, there was a really obvious twist that I feel like we were left with too many breadcrumbs, and I'm pretty sure I know what the twist is going to be at the end about her, the people who attacked her and her dad. And if I'm right, that's going to be kind of like, so this is fun. I'm not taking it too seriously. Am I loving it? No. But I will check in with you when I read that, and then all we have left is Mexican Gothic. Hello. We just made apple chips in the air fryer. More to come on that, on whether they're good or not. We're set up at a very strange place, but I think I mentioned this earlier in this vlog, but with it getting dark so early, I don't know what to do because the lighting in my house without sunshine, not so great. I am checking in for a reason once I get my rambling out of the way. Maybe I should take my hair down so I actually look a little better. And you may be wondering, Emily, is that the only sweater you own? The only sweater you wear? I wear this sweater all the time. I've had this since I was a teenager. It is so warm, so cozy. I love it so much. You cannot take it away from me on any chilly day. I sounded so Canadian right there. It's just so cozy. I'll have to insert a picture because I've already returned it to the KU library, but I did finish Sing You to Sleep today. I'm giving it 3 stars. I feel like my feelings haven't changed from when I checked in last through to finishing it. I liked it. It was fine. It was a book that I read. Didn't love it. I don't really have too many reasons why. It just wasn't doing enough for me. The spicy scenes were a fun time. It is like demon monster romance, so there's a tale. I can't believe I'm talking about this stuff on the internet. It makes me so uncomfortable, and yet now I'm reading, it seems 50-50 romance and fantasy, so here we are. But the fantasy / like heaven versus hell world building part of it, there wasn't enough of it to make sense in a 150-page erotic novella. Like, it was trying to do too much and it wasn't giving enough. I wouldn't have wanted it to be any longer because I wasn't loving it, but I feel like it could have been even shorter, if that makes sense. And my worry about our heroine's PTSD being resolved by getting some sleep and having mind-blowing sex, in her opinion. There is positive therapist rep, like she does see a therapist, but I don't know. 3 stars. It was fine. I don't have that much to say about it because I feel like I didn't love it and I didn't hate it. And when you're just kind of like meh in the middle, it's hard to chat too much about a book, if that makes sense. I have started Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is the final book of this vlog. I know this has been going on for so long. I hope to get this up before the end of November because that was my intention, to extend spooky season into November. This is a gothic horror book. I have not read very much horror at all. I am a big baby, as I keep saying, yet I want to get in some spooky reads before the end of the year. In this book, you're following Noemi. I want to call her Naomi, but I know that's not right. She lives in Mexico City, and her father is sending her to go check on her cousin, Catalina, who has been writing very strange letters saying that her new husband is trying to kill her. She is recently married and has moved off to the countryside, very isolated from her family, but also just everything with her new husband. And she is saying like there's weird things happening in the house, that her husband's trying to kill her. Like she sounds very unhinged, and her father's like, you need to go check on your cousin. I'm sending you there. You're going like ASAP. You're going on Monday. It's like the weekend or something. And she's like, this is crazy. And he's like, you need to check if she needs to be, hospitalized. Does she need help, or is something sinister happening? Because I've been talking with her husband as well, and he's saying, no, she's fine, or she's getting better, or please don't come and check on her, which is alarming in and of itself, especially since they don't know her new husband that well. They had a very fast meeting, engagement, marriage, moving away situation. So I do know that this gets moderately scary. Like, no, this isn't the most scary horror ever, but for someone like me who doesn't read horror, I think there's going to be some very creepy things happening. I think just based on this being called a gothic horror, we know that Catalina is not just unhinged or mentally unsound and needs to be admitted to a mental institution. That's kind of like where they're heading. I don't know. This is historical in some capacity. Classic Gothic suspense novel, isolated mansion in the 1950s Mexico. So I don't think that the discussion of mental health in here is very, I want to say, proper. Like, immediately they're like, oh, is she crazy? Does she need to go to the asylum? Does she need to go to the mental institution? Because it was the 50s. I am not very far in, literally 13 pages, so I will check in around the halfway point, but I wanted to give you a bit of a synopsis, and this is where we are headed. And once I finish this, which I hope to do in the next day or two, I can finally wrap up this reading vlog. It's been going on for over 2 weeks now.
She's waiting for love to be realized. I'll send her my heart covered as a gift, and hope that you'll take it into her side. La 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 la.
Mom.
Are you gonna film with me?
What?
Just for a minute?
What? Mom.
You're being silly.
What, Mom?
I know you can hear me. I am now halfway through Mexican Gothic, so I did want to check in with you. I was actually able to get the audiobook through my library as well, and that has sped up my reading a lot. Also, I mentioned that I've never read a true horror before, which is true, but this is a Gothic horror, and I realized that I have read a Gothic horror before. I read Plain Bad Heroines either earlier this year or last year, and I didn't love that either, and I am getting similar vibes. So I'm wondering if this genre or sub-genre of horror is just not for me. Buddy, it is very atmospheric, but I don't have a lot of words to articulate. Like, I'm just not loving it. Like, it is spooky, but it's still mundane, if that makes sense. And we're kind of just going through the motions with this, like, looming something very strange is going on, but there's nothing definitive to kind of let you know what that is. It's very similar vibes to Plain Bad Heroines. If you've read that book and read this one, let me know if you agree with that. Like I said, I'm halfway through. I'm on page 148. I'm so bummed about this reading vlog because I just feel like it's been a lot of like wishy-washy stuff. Am I making any sense? And the whole purpose of this reading vlog was I really wanted to like read a lot of and love a lot of spooky books before the end of the year, and that's just not really happening. So maybe spooky books just are not for me. I've definitely hit my stride with like fantasy romance, and stay tuned for my next reading vlog for that. But I still wanted to give these genres their moment. I apologize for like the absolute ugliest sweater award show that I have been running this whole vlog, but I am freezing. My hands are like ice cubes. I am going to be perpetually cold until April. So if you stay tuned on my channel, you're going to be seeing a lot of ugly sweaters, I'm sure, because they're just the warmest ones. Do you have the cat in the box?
Yeah.
Does he want to be in the box?
I'll show Kitty, Mom.
You want to show them the kitty?
Yeah.
Don't! There is a kitty in the box! So anyways, I am still reading it. The audiobook is definitely helping me a lot. I've been flying through it since getting the audiobook. The narrator is doing a really great job, and I know that this does get scarier as we go along because we are building up this tension. I'm just still not loving it, and I think there like a really creepy, gross scene in here that I haven't gotten to yet. Did I hear people mention that? I'm not sure. I still have high hopes. This is feeling like a 3-star, but I wish we were getting more from Catalina, the cousin who we went to save, if you know what I mean. But Noemi she's an interesting character. That's for sure. Emma is just going to continue being the most obnoxious toddler in the world. So I'll check in with you guys when I finish this. Hello everyone, I finally finished Mexican Gothic. I literally just finished it moments ago. I am trying to get my makeup on. because I'm running out of daylight and I'm running out of time. So I finished Mexican Gothic, and I know last I checked in with you, I was like, this isn't really that scary. I'm not loving it. It seems very mundane, and like the suspenseful building wasn't really scaring me. Last night, this morning, I was pretty creeped out. I think I included a clip of my like growing horror of some of the things happening to our characters and within this house. It definitely got, my mirror's in the frame, very creepy. So I ended up giving this 4 stars because for the most of it, like I was liking it fine, but I didn't feel like there was anything special. I did like our characters, and like they were really easy to tell apart and stuff. And Noemi is a very strong female character, and I do love that in books. And the writing was beautiful, but on an enjoyment level, it wasn't feeling like a 5-star, or like I wasn't really loving it. So it was feeling like a 3-star for quite a bit. But then when the actual horror elements came in, I feel like I wanted to bump up my rating a little bit because it was just done so well. In saying that, I don't think Gothic horror is really the subgenre for me. Sorry if this is distracting, but like I'm trying to multitask and get things done. Like I said, I read Plain Bad Heroines last year as well, and I kind of felt similarly, though I did enjoy Mexican Gothic more. It's not nearly as long or convoluted like I didn't love Plain Bad Heroines, but I can see the similarities in the Gothic horror genre. And I don't know. I don't think that genre is, for me, I don't think it's going to ever be a favorite. I think mostly because I'm semi-bored for the first like 60% until like the scary bits happen. Like, yes, it's necessary if it's going to be this Gothic atmospheric horror to build up the atmosphere, and it's like a very slow impending doom happening. It's not like a slasher horror. I will say there was body horror elements in here that I think body horror will be something that is way more terrifying to me, more terrifying than ghosts or haunted houses or even slashers. Like the body horror, like I could feel like the goosebumps on my skin. It was so disgusting and scary. I don't think I'm ready for like, what's the Nick Cutler one? Is that right? Like Trooper? I don't think I can handle that. But in saying all this, I am interested in exploring the horror genre a little bit more. Like, I am reading, not for this vlog, but just in general, House of Hollow, which is more of a YA mystery horror situation, and I'm liking that more. So I wonder if that is a subgenre I can explore more, like maybe more YA horror, because I am a big baby. But I am very happy that I did finally finish this book, that I can finally wrap up this video, and it is still November, so I successfully extended spooky season. Okay, that's enough rambling for me. I'm now going to edit this video as quickly as I can and have it up for you hopefully tomorrow. Today is Thursday. I hope to have it up for Friday. Random mini announcement. I am saving the packages I'm getting. I did like open them and get the card out of them, and they both say Merry Christmas on them. So if you gift something to me off of my Amazon wish list, I thank you so much. I am going to be hoarding these packages and hopefully opening them as a video during Vlogmas. I don't know how people do this, like collect a pile of mail without opening it already. This is very aggravating that I can't like open it, like tear into it and see fully what's inside. I mean, I saw, well, this is a very skinny package and the note said Merry Christmas, and this one I can see that it's a book, but I haven't actually fully opened it. So please don't feel obligated to send me anything, but I just wanted those of you who have sent me something, I will open these in a video. I'm going to do like a Christmas book haul and open these and any other bookish gifts that I get from friends and family as well. I think that will be a really fun video. Okay, I've said this multiple times, but that is enough rambling from me. You'll have to let me know the most recent spooky book you have read in the comments below, or if you have any recommendations for me, since I had more misses than hits in this video, because I do want to read more spooky books. That is for sure. I need to finish my makeup so I can stop looking so strange. Give this vlog a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.